All right, welcome everyone to the Sunday night training. My name is Vincent, if you didn't know that. Thanks for being here. I'm trying to see how many people we got on here tonight. Trying to clear this out of here. There we go. All right, cool. All right, so I'm like the king of zero slides, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm not gonna have any slides tonight, but I do want you to listen differently. And when I say listen, there's like a listening that you do when you wake up and you already have tuned out all the sounds that you're so accustomed to, like just the sound of the murr of your refrigerator, right? You actually don't hear that probably because you're just so accustomed to it. You just tune it out, right? So I don't want you to listen like that, where you're just tuned out. You can hear everything, but you're not hearing anything. Instead, I just want you to listen with a different set of ears, like you haven't heard before. And if the shoe fits on anything I say tonight, then listen, wear it, and just be accountable, right? So, because here's the thing, you guys know if you're gonna get me, I'm gonna come at you. All right, 6 days from Sunday. Not because I love doing that, only because I love you the most. That's why, because to me, I don't see a whole lot of people willing to say and do things that make other people and themselves feel uncomfortable because they don't want to feel uncomfortable. But guess what? What's required, right, to level up? I don't care if you're an athlete. I don't care if you're a musician. I don't care if you're a math wizard. Everybody has to go through the same things in order to level up. And just remember, Michael Jordan had a coach, many of them. Not only that, he sought out the best coaches that he could in the world to hire to coach him. Because not once did he think he knew everything there was to know about playing basketball, not once. But he did think, though, that if everybody else was going to let the team down, that he would carry the team by himself. And he did. That's what makes him so great, because he did all these things. But listen, at the end of the day, they all had coaches. And every great player. So if I'm saying that, then just hear this like I'm calling you a great player. And please don't argue with me with that little inner voice going, oh, what, me? How can I be great? I haven't even done that much yet. Or, oh, well, listen, you're here listening to me, right? There's like millions of people out there scratching their heads going, I have all these problems facing me, my health and my finances, and I don't know what to do, and blah, blah, blah. And I guarantee you, somebody like one of us at some point in time might have knocked on their door and said, hello, by the way, here's a possible solution. Here's a possible solution. They said no, but you didn't. You said yes. So that makes you great in my book, because I talk to thousands and thousands of people at this point, during my now career in network marketing, thousands of people. Most of them said no. Just so you know, most of them said no. But the very few percentage of people, this is great. You guys make a mental note of this. This is great. Because just when you think the numbers have to be this big, really, they only have to be that big. Because again, I love saying this, there's 41,000. I think we're approaching 41 or just over 41,000 people, customers and affiliates that are part of Tina and my team. Right? But there's 48 people now on this call. Now, you know why I think you guys are great? Because you guys showed up. Awesome. You guys showed up. So because you showed up, I'm going to give you everything I got. Everything. So when I say listen differently, like, listen, I'm not saying that like I'm all knowing. I'm the Wizard of Oz. I know it's going to happen all the time. Some of the times I do, though, but not all the time. And like I've screwed this up probably more than you. And just like, I don't know any parent that wants to see their kids suffer at all. Like, I don't know a single parent, but I'm the same way. And not that you guys are kids, please do not take it like that. But I don't like to see anybody suffer, period. Right? So, but if I know the solution, if I know like what it is, even if it's like kind of out there, even if it's something you haven't heard before, it's, it's not in that little box that we were taught, like, well, if it's supposed to fit in there, and if it doesn't, it's weird or different, let's just ignore it. So listen, there's a little of that. Because I am somebody that like tried everything, including like putting myself in a weird position and chanting and like doing stuff like that. Like I've tried everything, whatever it is, I would have tried it to do it. And I know I think everybody here is the same. I think everybody would just darn near do anything, right? Just to make this thing go, right? So when I say listen from different ears, what happens is I'm going to say some things next, and instantly people are going to go, nope, I don't need help. That's not me. Nope, I'm just fine. Nope, not me. Right? And that's fine. If you want the same result, just keep doing the same things. That's fine. You don't have to listen to me at all. Right? Did you guys like that example of back it up? All right. I'm looking at some of your faces. That was kind of fun, actually. So here's the thing, though. If somebody is like telling you on your team, hey, I want all these results. Narita, I want to do this. Julia, I want this, I want this. Debbie, I want this, I want this. I can't wait till this and this. And Kevin, oh my gosh, Kevin, I can't wait till, such and such happens, right? And you guys are all excited, right? Just like me. You guys are like, yes, all right. Okay, let's get busy. Let's get on the phone. Let's start calling some people. Let's go, right? Let's rock and roll. And because I'm like that, right? I'm like totally like ready to start running. And then what happens is like they get distracted. Or their cousin told them this stuff doesn't work. So they're like, now they're researching it. Well, I got to do some more research. Heaven forbid, right? Anyway, so like that happens. And so here's what I want to talk about. Who are you being in that moment when that happens? And I'm like seriously asking, you don't have to type it in or nothing. I don't expect anybody to like type in their act, but I'm just like, answer it to yourself. Like, so if that's happening to you and somebody's backing away, are you going to be the one that, because there's a couple of different choices here. Oh, that's my friend. I don't want to push. I don't want to prod them. I don't want to like ruin the relationship and, push too hard. Which, by the way, yes, you do. Yes, you do is the answer. Yes, you do. But I know you don't. I know you don't want to because they're your friend. Like, you don't want to push, you don't want to like have that thing. But here's the thing. When I say yes, you do, that's what I'm saying. What's required and who you're going to be in that moment is not the same person that you were up until this point. Because that person, obviously, right, just going in circles, right? The new person recognized that pattern and says, oh, I'm going to put a stop to that. I'm going to exit that. And I'm going to step aside and then make a decision. All right. So that's what we're talking about right here. And because here's who I am for the team. In my humble opinion, I'm the like drill sergeant. I'm the guy that when you're like, you've had it, nothing's working. Like, I'm so tired. There's people laughing when I'm saying this because they know what I'm talking about. Because they know when you get a phone call from me and I recognize or see that's going on, then it's like, believe it or not, it's the best phone call. After not initially, but after it is. Because again, I'm telling you guys what is required is exactly what I'm literally teaching you by doing what I'm telling you, which is you need to be moving forward, very confrontational. Yep, I said it. Very confrontational. Okay, conversation like my guys all the time. No, but yeah, you need to be confrontational with yourself. Number one. So you got to like, first of all, recognize your pattern. Because I'm just going to tell you something. First of all, I want to acknowledge everybody that leveled up and, ranked up this month. And here's the thing. I knew everybody that did that had a minimum, and I know you have it in you too. Even if you choose to argue with me, I know you have it in you. And just keep coming on to these calls and the Tuesday calls and whatever calls you could get on, because then you'll finally see, I think, for yourself that you do have it in you. Because I promise you, I don't have anything on anybody. There's people here that could wipe the floor clean with smarts when it concerns me. But there is this little niche, right, that I became good at. And the good at part is what nobody else wants to do. All right. And we already learned in life that people who make it big, like super big, do what? They do what most people won't do, right? So if that's the case, I'm telling you right now, what's required to like really make this thing go is to do what most people won't do, which is being confrontational with you, with yourself, and with the people that are around you. Because listen, and here's why that you need to do this, because I don't think, well, I know it's possible, but I think everybody here has integrity. So because what's impossible with people who have integrity is to be a hypocrite and tell your team to go do this while you're not doing any of that. Right? So saying yes, but you're doing no, like, hey, I want you to do what I say, but I'm not going to do anything I say myself. I want you guys to get busy and blow up my team so I can make a lot of money and, make ragged stuff, but I'm not going to do that. Right? So, because here's what happened. If you don't do that, if you don't do what you want other people to do, then it's not going to happen to you ever. You'll get lucky once, maybe, but then after that, people will recognize that you're not willing to do. Because here's the thing. In the military, everybody called them brass holes. They were the guys that came on the scene with little shiny buttons on their hats and on their labels, and they didn't know shit about anything. What they knew, sorry, but I didn't mean to say that. They didn't know a whole lot about what was going on, right? But who did know what was going on was the enlisted guys, the guys that showed up, got up at 5 a.m. and had to grind it out all day long. They put up the equipment, they put down the equipment. They knew how to take it apart, fix it, knew the tools, everything about it they knew. And then you get somebody come in that don't know what's going on and giving orders. And you're like looking at everybody sideways going, well, who's this person, right? Why are they giving us orders when they have no idea what's going on? So I promise you, just the way I felt back in the day when I was put on the good old uniform, and there's somebody telling me something that they're not, and I know that it looks like they don't have one callus on their hands. If somebody's giving me orders, to go use my hands and physically work, and they don't have callus on their hand, I'm not listening. I even got busted for it. Just so you know, I got mega trouble because I didn't follow orders, because I don't follow orders for people who don't follow their own orders. So here's the thing. People on your team, right? If you're the same way, I guarantee you people on your team are thinking the same thing. They're like, well, if they're not doing it, why am I? We've said it, I don't know, 6 days from Sunday, 6 different ways, right? Which is people are going to do what you do. So if you kick back and, come on one of these calls every now and then, guess what your team's going to do? They're going to do that or half of that. So again, they'll never max out, right? It'll always be half, either at or less, because that's what they're following. So it's what's required, again, is doing things you've never done before. And I don't expect anybody to be perfect on day one. I don't even expect anybody to be perfect on year one. But it doesn't need to take a year, is all I'm saying. Because I'm telling you right now, if this is your day one, like, you're in luck. then you don't have to go through the trials and tribulations that could have been, but now aren't headed your way, because you can easily find out and point out the patterns in people, because I promise you, here's the people that you want on your team. You look for people that take charge, that want what you want, that are willing to get in the trench just like you are, and are willing to take orders and willing to get dirty just like you are. Those are the people you want. Now, the people you don't want are these people, and I guarantee you, everybody's met a person like this. They kind of like this. They open one hand like this, and then they open another hand like this, and they kind of beat their chest side to side like this. Oh yeah, I'm the greatest that network marketing's ever seen. I had a team back in 1972 of like 1,700 people. Listen, we don't, in the new game, talk is that talk. My face is all hat and no cattle. We're going to be in Texas by the end of this week, right? We're going to see some people who actually have the cattle, right? People are going to, really did exactly what they said they're going to do, and some, and we're going to highlight that too, because that's how you do it. That's the way, and it feels good, by the way, when you do that. I don't care if you're just making it from director to senior director, guys. You made a step. The best book I love reading was by Darren Hardy. Now I forgot what it is. The Compound Effect. And he talks about, listen, even if you fall flat on your face, you're still moving forward. You're still moving forward. I know it's hard to think about how that could be good, falling flat on your face, but in a sense, though, you are still moving forward. And if you look at it like that, that's just how you could explain to your team, because if you don't go through what you need to go through right away, which is all the different ways people are going to tell you no, and then you get clever and figure out how to thwart that. And I even, by the way, I say, oh, I'm going to ask you something I know you're going to say no to. I love it. Then they're like, well, how do you know I'm going to say no? What if I say yes? I'm like, trust me, you're going to say no. I promise you. And I said, here's how I know you're going to say no. I'm not even going to say what it is. I'll just say network marketing. But because I said it like that, now they want to know what it is. Guys, you can have fun with this. All right, so now I'm going to go into the section where you guys are not having fun. You're taking this way too serious, and it's a lot easier than you think, because I've been having fun. Tina's been with her son in Oregon, and I've been out all over the place, because I don't cook anymore when I'm doing stuff, and I got a big surprise for Tina. Like when she gets home, she's going to be totally blown away, but because I just think it's fair that if I have a total awesome man cave with theater quality sound system and everything, that Tina should have a, I don't know, girly garage that's, sort of like speaks to who she is. Super bright pink, guys. It's wait till you see the pictures. Anyways, but here's the thing. I'm out and about, right? I'm at Lowe's getting paint. And I'm just telling you this. This is just, this isn't even trying. And here's what the guy said. What are you doing? I told him, truth. I'm doing a surprise for my wife. She's going to come back and she's not even going to recognize her garage at all. Oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, man, must suck that you only have the weekend to do it and finish it. And all of a sudden I went, ding, 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 ding. Actually, it doesn't suck. I didn't even know it was the weekend because I work from home, and most of my work is just at home, taking care of the house. I don't even know what's going on anymore because I don't even watch the news either. I'm like, shoot, I didn't even know it was the weekend. Thanks. And he looked at me, he's like, how do you do that? Did I say, do you guys hear me say anything about a drop? By the way, signed him up. I signed him up. He didn't even know what we're selling. He didn't even know what we sell. He wanted part of it. I said, hey man, if you want part of this, listen, I don't have a whole lot of time. Here's my card. Julia made me some cool cards. Don't even have my phone number on it, by the way. It just has my website here. You want to talk to me? Our next conversation, you have to put your phone number after you're signed up. because that's the only way I'm contacting you, because you don't have my number and I don't have yours. So that's all it says on my card. I'm serious, guys. And so guess what? He signed up. And then I messaged him. I said, welcome to the team. He says, what are we selling? I mean, I can't make this up. You know, it's like, and I'm thinking, and just so you know, here's the opposite. Kelly, I told my friend, I gave some samples. Nothing's happened. I don't think this works. Like if I had a nickel for every time I heard that. Guys, listen, I'm so ADD, I forget. I was lucky to have my own business cards on me. I apparently bought a cigarette holder that I thought was a card holder in Mexico, but Tina pointed out it was a cigarette holder. Anyway, it didn't matter to me because it fits all my cards and the new little ones for the, you know, PFT things in there. So it works out fine. And, you know, luckily I have that, but I forget to have my samples just like everybody else. I don't have it all the time. So I just got good at gabbing, right? You guys know how to do that. I know you do, because I was literally sitting at breakfast the other day having this awesome protein breakfast. It was really like, who would have thought, like pickled onions, avocado, and what was that? What was sweet potato and asparagus all together. It tastes amazing. But I'm having that. And the guy next to me is literally making a comment about my disgusting looking protein breakfast. And I said, listen, man, I'm eating this because I'm, you know, I want to stay fit. You know, I already had the life, tried the lifestyle, which looks like, you know, kind of like your lifestyle, partly like we just kind of don't give a shit. And I literally said that to him. And he says, yeah, man. He goes, you're right. He goes, yeah. Like, thanks for saying that. You know, I've been meaning to do something about it. Like, where should I start? That was his response. I insulted him. Literally insulted him. If you ask me, it was kind of, I mean, I didn't mean to insult him, but like, that was me. That was the conversation. And the guy already messaged me, you know, about PFT. And I said, listen, if you don't grab on to what you're putting in your body, it's going to grab onto you and stay there. And you don't want it to. I said, so you better like figure it out now, don't you think? You know, so you don't have all the problems later. So that was just, by the way, that was just Saturday. Because the one guy that like, I think I already told this story. He came over to fix AC. Well, it's been like this whole debacle. Anyways, my insurance company, of course, doesn't, you know, they're not accountable for nothing. So I didn't care. The guy was so great. I screamed at him because he was late. And anyways, he got the wrong time and I apologized and ended up, but I heard his wife in the background on the phone say something about diabetes. That's it. That's all I heard. And after I apologized, here's my apology. I said, here, I'm going to give you this box of NRM. I don't know what it's going to do for your wife. I just heard it in the background. Listen, I have no idea. But I've just heard, and my own testimony on the stuff is like literally amazing. I've had such fantastic results. You can have it. It's just on me. I just please accept my apology. Like, I didn't mean to get upset, and you know, it was a total misunderstanding as we agreed. Yesterday, so he gave me a message back saying that not only his wife's numbers, you know, lowest they've ever been. You know, that, you know, that was the first time, but then I had to wait like another month and a half to get some part, whatever, for the thing. So we haven't had this thing working the whole time. Finally call him back and I'm talking to him and he was laughing. And he said, he goes, it's so funny. He goes, I literally almost hung up the phone on you. And now I'm just grateful because I'm able to get these drops from my wife. And he goes, but I'm, you know, thinking my business sucks. Like, how do you do this? And he initially said, there's not, you know, there's no way I can do this. And by the end of our conversation, he had 67 people down on a piece of paper. I said, because here's my response. I said, listen, who can we get on the phone right now? and talk to her about it. I said, you already have a testimony, your wife, you don't even have to say anything. That's just fine. Wait till you try the other 17 drops that we have, that's amazing. So guys, that was just Saturday. Every day's like that. Every day I just go out and I literally have fun. I go shopping, whatever. And I just strap up conversations. And because here's what I know. I know what miserable's like, and I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like, because I've been in that place. And here's what I also know. And I'm holding all you accountable because it doesn't just happen in my state. It doesn't happen in just Scottsdale, Arizona. This happens in your families. This happens in your communities. This happens in your state. It's happening all over the world, where people feel that big and that insignificant. They're not heard. They feel like they don't count. They feel like they have zero options, that they're just cornered. They're going down a tunnel with no light at the end of it. And guess what? Every one of you is accountable for changing everything for them by just sharing what we have. And if you don't see it like that, then what needs to happen? Because my next question is this. If you don't, and by the way, it's okay if you don't have to. This is not like where I'm preaching and you have to agree to everything I say, like robotic. It's not. I want you to think for yourselves. But I am going to say, if you don't think that this is the absolute answer, both financially and for health, then what needs to happen in order for you to get there, where it's that important, where that if it's on the other side on a burning building, you're going to run in and get it because you're that convinced that it's that important to you that you're willing to do that. Because if you're not, people can read you. They can read you. And you'll be exposed until you get that, whatever it is, wherever place you need to get to, and have that conviction, that belief. Because here's what I'm convinced on. And I say this because I hang around a lot of network marketing professionals. I know a lot of them. And I promise you, none of us have anything that you guys don't have. None of us do. We have less, in fact, I think. But what we have less of is a belief system that we can have, do, and be anything we want. And where everybody else, I think, is clinging on to the system that was handed to us, which is the system. Oh, you go to school, you do this, everybody knows. I'm not going to go so we were all taught that. And then we saw some of us get made fun of because we didn't think that way. Ended up, maybe we had something. But at the end of the day, you have to make a decision. And decision, like right now, you're listening to my voice on a Sunday night. You could be watching football. I know the Chiefs game's going on right now. Our stadium's super loud. Everybody's watching. I'm not even recording it, guys. Whatever. I love the Chiefs too. But I don't live my life around any football games anymore either. This is way more, this right here, way better than any football game I can watch. Because here's what I want you to get. I want you to get that just your belief and your confidence, just those two words, confidence and belief. I would even say action, but confident people just take action. That just goes along with it. So it's kind of like I'm attaching that to. I'm going to marry that to. And belief and conviction, kind of marry that. But that's all you need to win. You don't need anything else. You don't need to go to school. You don't have to have any kind of degree. You don't have to, please don't be mad if you do have a degree. I'm not saying that you did that for nothing. I'm just saying that you don't need it here because a lot of people didn't get that like me. So it's not required is all I'm saying. but it's also not required to be a top shelf singer or speaker or anything else. Not required. At the end of the day, people just want real stories from real people, not some canned, choreographed nonsense that everybody can see right through. And I think that everybody's smart enough listening to me that, I would never insult you by telling you a bunch of nonsense that I personally wouldn't do or have in my life. I just wouldn't, because I think our time is valuable. And that's why if you hear me, even into the future, I'm not angry, guys. I'm not. I know that it sounds like I come at people, but I get excited. But I want to get hard on people because I think you're all worth it. Because you obviously thought you were worth it because you're on the team. You signed up. You did something that most people won't do. So to me, that says you're worth it. If you're worth it, that means you might get pressed. Because people who are worth it in school, I noticed the teachers were harder on them than all the other people that they didn't care less about because they just gave up on them. But they spent time with the people who they thought and saw had potential that were worth it. I see that in every one of you because there's no ingredient here that you all don't have. You all have what it takes. You all do. And next week, we're going to go celebrate that. But listen, it's October. What is it? It is the 1st, isn't it? Or is this? Yeah, it is the 1st today. So I know, I never know what day it is, but so we literally have the rest of the year to close out. Now, how are you hearing that? Are you going to hear that like, oh, well, I didn't make a thing. I don't know if I'm going. Well, number one, if you don't have a ticket to convention and you're not where you want to be, then that's going to make the difference. I promise you. By going, here's why. Because the only reason why is that you're not convinced enough. Because if I told you and promised you and guaranteed you, which I can't, by the way, but I know if I did guaranteed you that, if you went to the convention, you walk out of there an ambassador 3 months later, I guarantee you'd be there. Because number one, ambassador comes with a trip for like 10 days to anywhere you want to go on the company. They pay for everything. Tina and I are excited to take it. We haven't even had a chance to do it yet, but just for that reason, you should want to do it. But listen, if I said that and it was a guarantee, I guarantee you'd go there. But listen, it is a guarantee if you go and keep participating, because I see people that just ranked up just yesterday that have been with us for, I don't know, going on 5-6 years now. And listen, I don't know what happened or didn't happen, but it happened yesterday. And I know it just didn't happen overnight, but I also know that, wow, these people kind of listened to Kelly and Tina when we said, hey, maybe you should do the core with Michael Burnock. Because I noticed everybody that ranked up was part of that, or most everybody that I saw ranking up was part of that. I don't know. Maybe it's not that it's required. It's not. But here's why I know what happens. Here's what I know what Michael does. He gets you out of your own way. He did it for me. I mean, literally, the guy told me to tell my food what it's doing for my body before I eat it. Like the most magical thing I ever heard, ever. Made such a big difference. Helped me quit a 30-year addiction with tobacco. I'm embarrassed to say that, but it did. It did. And it's just words. And so if he could do that for me, like I want to return the favor in kind for you guys. And here's what it is. What it looks like is this. I'm going to tell you the truth. You're going to go, dang, really? But then you're going to know the answer. Then you're going to know that it's like that's how it is. And then you won't have to think that's how it is or worry that's how it is. Then you're just going to know that's how it is. And then we can just get past it, right? Because here's what I do promise. If you listen to me, I am probably, I don't like saying it like this, but I'm probably the laziest person you'll ever meet. And I say that in the sense of if there's 2 different points from point A to point B, I promise you, I'm going to think and I'm going to spend a lot of my time to figure out how to get from point A to point B in a straight line the fastest way possible. right? Because I don't want to go this way and that way and backwards and that way. I don't want to do that. I just want to go just like you do. So that's what I figured out to do. And that's what I could tell you, instead of like going and doing this, playing pinball with all the figuring out part, I can just tell you how to get from here to there. But what's required is you just have to listen to the initial part. It's not going to be that great. And it's not going to be that great because you've never done it before. And if you've never been on a team sport where like you were responsible for scoring the winning goal, well, that's what this is. Right now, you're responsible for scoring the winning goal. And so there's a little pressure with doing that, right? So listen, everything I'm telling you is just what's required. So I'm telling you right now, if you took today, and I'm even going to give you another month because we're in the 10th month. That means we have 4 months to close out the year. Usually I'd say 90 days. So let's just break it down. Let's just break it down for the first 2 weeks that after this, you're not going to listen to me and you're going to go, you're like, you know what, maybe I should listen. Okay. All right. 2 weeks went by. I waited 2 weeks. Now the 90 days starts. Good. You still got time to the end of the year. You got 90 days and 2 weeks left. All right. So, I mean, it's my recommendation. You don't wait 2 weeks or a month just to make it 90 days. You got my permission, give yourself permission too, like just to use the full 4 months that we have left. And I promise you, you could rock this thing like you've never think, but it's not going to be as easy as you may want it to be. I know everybody wants to be easy. And listen, I'm manifesting for everybody that's going to be just super easy. Up until now, it's been hard, but from now moving forward, it's going to be way easier. But here's what's going to be way easier about it. What's going to be way easier is your understanding of how this works. And how this works is just like anything else you did. Just consider the job you're doing now or what you did up until now and your first day and then your first week and then your first month when your feet are killing you, right? And you're just totally discombobulated and you're like, all your clothes are like sitting on the floor. You don't know what to do because you're brand new. You just started. Then all of a sudden it becomes boring because you've been doing it for a while. All right. 2 things about that. A, this doesn't get boring. It's always fun and exciting for the most part. And B, all right, there's always going to be that next person that we can help. So, it remains to be pretty exciting when you do it. But again, the first 90 days are going to be the hardest because I promise you, I do this every time, every company. I mean, Tina and I have done this 6 times now. 6 times, like, here's a pattern, is what I'm saying. This is a good pattern to have. 6 times, all we did was put our heads down. We literally gave everything. We exhausted everything we could out of us for 90 days. And here's why you guys should do this. Because since then, it's been a cakewalk. We've been having fun. We've been shopping. We've been like doing all the stuff. I'm like, I don't even want to keep going. But like, it's been so much fun. And all I sacrificed was 90 days, like 3 years ago. 90 days, 3 years ago. And so I just paid that price. 90 days, 3 years ago. Now, what's the price? The price is the story. This is going to get everybody right here. The price is a story that you made up on why you can't do this and why you're the unluckiest person on the planet, that nothing ever happens good to you, that whenever it has to do with luck, you're the last one picked and nothing ever works for you because it never has up until this point. Sound familiar, anybody? All right, so once we get that story out of the way, all right, then there's all the other stories of all the things you tried and didn't work out. And man, I've done this before. And my family said it wasn't going to work. And so did my parents and my kids. And like, everybody's against me and this stuff doesn't work and blah, blah, blah. And then there's that story. So, and then there's the story that you've had since you were like 2 years old, when you went up in front of the classroom and you did something, you did a problem wrong and you're afraid to ever show your face in public ever again. And there's that story too. So whatever story you guys got going on, and I promise you the story, because there's a fact about what happened, there's a story. And my favorite book is The 10 Times by Grant Cardone, because he talks about this one particular incident where, and I could be saying this wrong, but if I say this wrong, don't hold me accountable because it's still going to work the way I remember it. But he was asking the question, talking about a man or a woman driving to, from point A to point B, and has to be somewhere on time and gets in an accident. And he said that he confronted that person. He said, wow, I see that you created an accident so that you didn't have to be on time. And that person argued with them and said, what do you mean? I'm insulted. Why? How could you say it was an accident? And he says, yeah, and that's why you're not any further in life than you want to be. Because, and here's what I appreciate about that. What I appreciate about that is you're accountable for everything. Everything that happens in your life, even the stuff you don't think you're accountable for, you're accountable for. Right? And you can choose not to believe what I'm saying, but let's just pretend. Let's just try it on like a pair of pants for the rest of this month. And just pretend for a moment that every good, indifferent, or even cancel that thought, bad thing that happens, you're accountable for. And you're accountable for it because of your focus. And because whatever you're focused on is what's going to actually happen out in the world. And so now that I just said that, and you heard that with your own ears, you heard my voice going into your ears saying that. Now I want you to think how you go through your entire day and how you convince yourself on certain points of the day that you're just not accountable, that you're just a victim about this, that everybody's out to get you, and then nobody listens to you. And why go to this meetup anyways? Because the last time I went, like, nobody even talked to me. Nobody even took one of my cards. So why go? See the story? Guys, we all do it, by the way. I'm super guilty, just so you know. If you think I'm pointing the finger at you, I'm not. Look at all my fingers are pointing at me. I could be the greatest storyteller. But here's what I vow to do is just tell the truth. And I'm telling you the truth, what I'm telling you right now. If you literally, like, even if you have thought zero possibility up to this point in your life that anything good could happen to you or is going to happen to you, or that anybody's going to give you even a second of their attention and hear you, and that you're going to get heard in this lifetime, you're in luck. You're in huge luck, because I promise you, all you have to do is go try this on and you'll get heard. All you have to do is go out there and tell the truth and you'll get heard. All you have to do is tell people, by the way, how's if things aren't going so great in your life, maybe I have a solution for you. You guys might want to write that one down. You know how many people I get on the hook just by saying that? Hey, are things going great? Is everything turned out the way you thought it would in your life? Ask that question to everybody you know. It's like not a bad question to ask. Like, hey, Sherry, Denny, does everything turn out the way you thought it would in your life? And here's what you're going to get. You're going to get deer in headlights. Like, people have to think about it, right? If they have to think about it, then something's missing. Now, if you ask me that, you're going to get about an hour-long dissertation about how great my life is. But on any given Sunday, you ask anybody else, I promise you, you're going to hear all the crappy stuff that's in their life, because that's all they know to talk about. And listen, if you're deficient with good things to talk about, then yes, you need to be part of this team. I don't care if you sell a single thing. You're deficient in just being around humans that are excited and turned on about life. How about that? But are you comfortable saying that to somebody, guys? I am. I'm going to call somebody unhealthy right to their face now. But I'll be the first one to say, like, look at my picture and how unhealthy I was. I'm only saying it because somebody cared about me at some point to tell me the truth. So I just want to return the favor in kind. And guess what? Not everybody appreciates my awesome words. Like, they don't. But it's okay, because here's what I'm going to tell you. Because here's what they don't tell you. When you confront somebody, they might get mad at you. They might be upset. But here's what they will also figure out: that you love them the most. So just not in that moment. They don't express that love part in the moment, but later on they do. And here's how I know that: because I'm hard on people, guys. I am. I'm hard on myself, and I'm going to be hard on you. If you ask me to be, I will be. And I will not unclench my bite like a Rottweiler once I sunk my teeth in and it doesn't come off. But that's how I am. But that's because there's not a snowball's chance I'm not getting results. Period. I don't even think there's like there's not even the other possibility in my mind. There's just winning and results and getting people results and more of that. That's it. Otherwise I won't even waste my time. And my new conversation with people now when I'm signing up, listen, I hope you're a real go-getter, because I promise you, I don't have a whole lot of time to spend with you. You know, you may not even want to have me as your sponsor. I even try to talk about them because I'm telling them what I'm not going to do for them at this level, at this stage. Because here's what I promise. I promised everybody staring at me right now, especially from 3 years ago. My promise is like, hey, if you stick with me, guess what? You're going to get results. That's my promise. So that's where my energy is going. And so, but you have to ask yourself, where's your energy going? And what are you focusing on? Is this just a good idea still? Like, hey, I'm just going to like, maybe someday the like magic success fairy is going to go bing. And by the way, that does happen. Just so you know, for people that I've seen people do absolutely nothing, not like they didn't try, but like they just didn't pay attention or do anything. They ended up with a gigantic team because they just kept sticking with it and showing up. Like half the battle is just showing up, guys. 41,000 people on a team. There's 58 people on this call. 58. But again, just goes to show you don't need the big numbers to win big. All right, you just need people that understand what's going to happen in the next 90 days. So from moving forward, when you sign somebody up, the very first conversation you're having with them is what they're going to do in the next 90 days. Because I'm only saying this because the formula that Tina and I have been selfishly not telling everybody, I guess, because or just not telling enough, is this, just what I'm telling you right now. Put your head down, tell your families that you're going to be sacrificing a ton, that you're not going to be available, that you're going to make it up to them later, that whatever, because you got to communicate to people in your lives. You can't just do it alone. And you got to communicate to people like me so we can support you, and to people like your sponsor and people in your team. Because if you do that, then you just invited their energy into you winning. I do that all the time. I steal people's good energy all the time on purpose for my benefit. So do that, because people willingly want to give you their good energy here on this team, and they want you to win. And when I say you, yes, I'm talking to you. You're not unique. I'm not talking to just only Kevin on here, or just only Lori Flynn, or just only Julia. I'm talking to you. And yes, I may not be saying your name, but everybody's included, and I say that because I've seen the least likely people ever in my life. Like if I were to bet, I would have bet them to never do a thing. And they're like winning bet more than me, more than I could even think about winning. So that's why I'm saying everybody here has literally 100% the same opportunity to take this all the way to the top. Literally everyone. Nobody has a more advantage than anybody else here. That's what I love about the business. And because I say that, what is your plan going to be the next 90 days? Are you going to sit? Are you going to map out every day? I mean, that's the way of doing it. I mean, I throw it out there. I write things on little sticky notes. I put them all over my bed. I put them all over my mirror. I put them all over my motorcycle. I put them on my car. I open up my wallet. There it is. I put on my credit card. Guess what? You're not spending another dime until you make it to the next rank. Like that's what I put. I put little notes there. Hey, listen, I know you can do it, but guess what? For fun, not today until you make the next rank. or till you get to this level. And like the more you talk about it, guess what? Here's another reality. And after 90 days, if it doesn't happen, guess what? You have another 90 days to do it again. You don't have to stop, guys, because guess what? In the job you're now, at the first 90 days and after the 90 days, I guarantee you it wasn't as fun as the first day, right? But now you're like been doing that for years. Like some people do it for decades. And like, so I don't want to hear any complaints, especially if they're doing that method for decades. But if it didn't happen, because here's what also happens, and I'm going to finish it out like this, because we got 6 minutes, so I'm going to close this out. Pipeline. Today's the first day. Before you go to bed tonight, make a text or phone call to somebody, and you're going to say, hey, I need to talk to you about something. The minute you get a free moment, let me know so we can set up a call. Is that cool? Question mark. Do that before you go to bed tonight. Then you just made your first appointment for the month, day one. You'll feel good, by the way, when you do that, or just, you don't have to do it exactly the way I just said it. However you do it, just do it today. And then, by the way, tomorrow, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do the same thing for the next 90 days. And I promise you, you're going to have 90 people in your pipeline. Wow, that's amazing. And maybe 3 of them at that point may have come on board or not. I don't know. But they're going to be in your pipeline. And you have to have a pipeline. You got to keep feeding that people into that pipeline, right? And you're going to keep following up. And as you're following up over here, new people have to come in the pipeline. Now, this is why it's hard, and this is why people think it's different, because when you're initially getting started, it's just you. It's just you. So I get it. Yeah, all the weight, the burden, the stress is on your shoulders. And then when you sign people up, you got to help them too. That could actually add a little bit more stress. I'm just being honest with you. But guess what? Then there's this thing called, like, you have leaders come on your team, or they graduate to be leaders, and things get a little bit easier. Now the work is spread out. Initially, it's not spread out. That's why it's difficult. But that quickly gets squashed when you have a team. All right, so I'm just telling you the things that they never told me, and that we never say to anybody either, just so you don't get frustrated. Because after all this happens, right, the rainbow, the pot of gold, the end of the rainbow, is that when you start seeing and earning money while you're asleep, because your team went out and shared it with a few people, and then those people shared it with a few more people, and then all of a sudden this thing starts snowballing and perpetuates into this organization that you now have, because you put your head down for 90 days and just got to it. Because here's what I'll promise. And I was going to play that video of the little giants, where they're like, one more, we're smacking the ground. The coach, guys doing the crab crawl on the football field. I was going to play that. It's one of my favorite things. I'm that coach, by the way. That's who I am in this organization. I'm that guy. I'm going to scream at you guys till you win, right? I'm going to be the guy that's not going to give up on you, even though I know you want to give up on yourself, because somebody didn't give up on me at some point in time. And again, I'm going to return the favor to everybody that's willing to do that. But I'm telling you, the next 90 days, you got to give it your all like that. Like you're doing the crab roll, crawl on the football field, 100 yards. And people are just like in astonishment and think you can't do it, but you're still doing it. But that's what's required, but only for 90 days, guys. This doesn't have to take years, doesn't have to take decades, doesn't have to be anything like you've experienced up until now in your life. You just have to make up your mind and focus, like laser focus on how it's going to be. And just know this is the esoterical part of my conversation, that is, just realize if you're going to make your own life's movie, and let's just pretend, right? And you have to like really pay attention here. Let's just pretend that every single thing that enters your mind in your movie is really going to happen. And if that's the case, what are you going to allow or not allow in your mind? Who are you going to allow in your life? Who do you need to get rid of in your life? Are those friends of yours really your friends? Just because it's convenient? Because have any more friends? Because I guarantee you there's 41,000 other friends you can have just like that. just be part of this team. You got instant friends, and we're all going in the same direction. But whatever that is, you're going to have to figure out whatever story that you made up until this point. We all have one. And if you tap into that and realize and figure out what pattern you used to not be great, then you can change it. Right? The minute you get a hold of your pattern, that's when you have power. And that's when you can access a 100% alternative way than the one that you already would have always had happen anyways, because you just press and play in life. And you're like, oh, that's just how I react. That's how I do this. That's how I do this. Well, this happens. Well, that's just how I always did it. Up until now, that's how you did it. And I want you to even say that. Up until now, I didn't think I was good at this network marketing stuff. And because if that's how you feel, then that's how you say it. Because I want you to hear what's real. And because remember, everything you have to hear yourself say is going to come true. So what do you wish for? What do you wish for is the question. Are you going to wish for something big? Or are you going to think I'm just ridiculous? Like, who is this guy saying this? Because I promise you, try it on. I'm just try it on like a pair of pants just to see if it fits. But I do know this, and my testimony so far in this business is that whatever you focus on is exactly what you're going to have in your life. Because I have everything that I'm focusing on right now. And right now, to the end of the year, my main focus is to get you guys to realize, what needs to happen right now? Who do I need to be right now? Who do I need to get rid of in my life? Who do I need to invite into my life? What can I be involved in? What's going to make me meet more people? Because that's the job, guys. Our job is meeting people. Like, not selling candy. We don't sell candy. We meet people. We introduce them. We shake their hand, and we bring them across the threshold into this company called APO Go and a team called Team Go Extreme. That's what we do. That's our job. Everything else is not sales. They'll buy it themselves. They already want to buy what we have. They already do. So all you have to do is decide who you're going to be in the face of everything that you ever wanted and how your life is going to be moving forward. I know that sounds like a huge burden, but really it should be an excitement. Because if everything I said, let's pretend it's true, if everything you think of is going to come true, then get excited, right? Because I know you guys want a lot of good stuff and you want to do a lot of cool stuff. And I believe that you can have it and it will be yours. But you're gonna have to put your head down for 90 days. I don't care if you've been here for 3 years. I don't care if you've been with Tina and I for 10 years. Like, at some point in time, you just have to make up your mind. And I saw people do it this last month. I saw it. It's awesome. It's awesome when it happens. But when you do it, you'll be proud of yourself. You don't even need anybody else to be proud of you. You'll be proud of yourself for doing it, because it's not easy. And there's this club called the Experience Club. Usually that's just the higher, like, corporate director and higher. And we're in this club because we've all been there. We've all done it. We've all gotten the calls, late night calls, and the, frantic, and like, we've done it all. But here's what I have to say: 1,000,000,000% worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it every second, every minute, every little bit of, what I would even call suffering that I had to go through. Nothing, because it's so worth it. But you just have to decide, at what point in time are you going to have everything you ever wanted, and you're just fed up with how it's been, and you're in charge, and you say how it goes, and people are going to come to you because of who you're being, not because of what we have. Has nothing to do with us. People buy people, not products. So there's tons of products you can go buy. There's anywhere, but not from you, right? Because our products and our team comes with a possibility for a life that's unrecognizable. And how do you put that in words? How do you tell us something? How do you sell unrecognizable, right? Because like it's hard for people to fathom. They just want a couple extra $100, or they just want to lose a few pounds or feel better. But when they can get to the point where they don't even recognize themselves, they're that great, or they're that younger, or they have that much more hair, or that much more vitality, right? It means a lot to people. It does. And at the end of the day, we all just want to know that other people give a crap about us, and that we've made a difference, and that we're making some kind of a difference, I think, with people in the world. And what better place and what better thing to do it than this right here? We have so many solutions to help people. So I'm just going to say, don't be stingy. Don't close yourself off. Don't sit and shut your door and not say a word. Go shout it out. We got something great here, guys. Like, it's unbelievable. So go shout it out from the rooftops. Don't be shy, because I promise you, like, maybe I hope this actually happens, that someday that you get a call from somebody that's like on your 18th level, and they're thanking you, and like you would have never met them in your life ever. They wouldn't even have been a thought had you not opened your mouth to like thousands of people prior to that person. But we get to be responsible for changing that many people's lives. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got for you guys tonight. I hope that everybody like really takes off this month, and let's finish off this year big. Okay? Like, let's go for it. Not for me, right? But for you. Do it for you. Do it for the people in your family. Like, do it for you. But we got 4 months to make it happen, like even better than what we've done up to this point. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. You want to stop the recording, Julia?